Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatye Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Shankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Lokashankaram Samastajana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurun Brahmavidwaram Sadgurun Brahmavidwaram Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Om Sri Tapovana Sishyaya Namaha. Okay, let us do the Shanti Patha for Chandogya Upanishad. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramadho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirate Upanishadsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are doing Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 6. We have completed 11 sections so far. This Upanishad, this particular Adhyaya or chapter has 16 sections. First section is introduction about the teacher and the student, and then a statement. What is that? By knowing which everything becomes as though heard and everything becomes known. And so the student becomes interested. So the teaching starts from there. From the second verse onwards, second section onwards, it says the whole universe is pervaded by Sat. Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asi. That is the only reality. Within that, the world appears. So if you shift our attention to the existence principle, that is what it is. You are Brahman. But our attention is names and forms. So the Upanishad very clearly says it is a direct path. It is called direct path. If you remove the names and forms, what is the names and forms? That is the description that we have in our mind. So our mind only operates names and forms. It forgets the essential Swarupa. So when the mind drops the names and forms, it actually becomes itself is Swarupa. It expands into itself. This is a direct path. So it does not talk much about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and then it does talk about Jnana. It is all Jnana Yoga. Directly it's talking about Jnana. So Nama Rupa, what does it mean? We have explained elaborately in the past. Briefly in this context, once again, I will very quickly you say, Srushti has five aspects. Sat, Chit, Ananda, and then Nama, Rupa. Sat, Chit, Ananda are our Swarupa. Nama, Rupa are the things that we add through our upbringing, by brainwashing, by believing that's what we are. When the Nama Rupa is taken out from the Srushti, only thing remains is Sat and Chit and Ananda. Nama Rupa, once again I repeat, is nothing more than the description that we add. The Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, everything. And then we forget the essential nature of a thing. The essential nature of a thing is in itself pure existence consciousness. Impersonal self. It is polluted by personal preferences, and descriptions. When the pollution is removed, you remain as you are, which is all pervading. Internally, it is called Nama, Rupa. Internally, it is Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Internally. These are the juices, spices we add. We see something, but we don't see it as it is. Outside, Sadeva Saumya. Outside, including here, outside and inside becomes merged into Sat, pure existence. Very often people confuse what is a pure existence business. I know that this book exists. I know the cell phone exists. I see each one of them as separate existences. But Vedanta says what you see in the names and forms individually as separate are nothing but a expression of one existence behind everything. Where is that existence? Where is that blessed existence? It is you. You have Chit and Sat, and you actually, in your essential form, you're all pervading. You become limited, looking at yourself through the body and the mind. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Through you, through your mind, you're looking at yourself. So when you drop the names and forms, while open eyes, you see you are Brahman. Because very sukshma, Atma Swarupa is sukshma. So you have to be, you should not, okay, put it in a slightly different way. Atma Swarupa is not limited by objectiveness. Objectiveness is mental. Objective means limited viewpoint. It is provided by the mind. So that sankalpa vikalpatmaka manas. Bhagavan Shankaracharya in Tattva Bodha, he says, sankalpa vikalpatmika vrittihi manaha. So we see the world through vrittis. And then what is in it for me? Should I go attend the class? Should I not attend the class? These are called vrittis. World is not made of vritti. Vritti is mind is made of vrittis. Nishchayatmaka vrittihi buddhihi. Mind decides. That deciding aspect of mind is called buddhi. Smaranatmaka vrittihi chittaha. Things that memorize, remembering aspect is called chitta. So what happens? What does the mind do? It spreads you. Past, future, present, and then you get spread out. In reality, you're just pure consciousness in the present as pure happiness. When you look at yourself to the past and future, and the world also to the past and future, you forget who you are in the present. You are the pure existence, consciousness, bliss. Mind pollutes your thinking process. How does it do? Ahankara vritti does that. Ahankara is the one that owns your past and your future and makes you forget your presence. But when you remain in the presence, which is between thoughts, so now thoughts are also, now you remove, thoughts are nothing but names and forms. This is a direct path. That is what Upanishad is teaching, direct path. With eyes open, see Sat. Everything is existence. Drop the names and forms. This direct path is actually Shankaracharya, Drugdrushveka beautifully talks about. So some other time I will go to that. But right now we'll just proceed with the Upanishad. But keep in mind, this is a direct path. Every experience has you as Sat and Chit. When you drop the names and forms, you become infinite presence. And when you, from that infinite presence aspect, you look at yourself or the objects, they arise in you. Without you, there is no world of names and forms, either outside or inside. There is no difference between inside and outside. Without you providing the reality to the world, Sat, objects don't exist. But when you yourself become an object, then world becomes separate. Because you limiting yourself, your consciousness and existence into this system, which is a mistake. God Himself is pervading, available all over right now. Just be that silence, presence, pure existence. Just like in deep sleep, but in eyes open. What is deep sleep? Before you fall asleep, last thought stop. When you wake up, first thought came. Between the two thoughts, that is deep sleep. That is pure existence. You exist. But because you do not have mind, you have questions. How do I know you are Brahman? Yeah, you go every day you are going. The same thing is possible between thoughts, and it can be elongated by reducing number of thoughts. Thoughts are nothing but names and forms. What happens when the names or forms are reduced, thoughts reduce? You become Sat and Chit. And from that Sat's existence, world arises. Even objects also borrow Sat from you. Without you, the world is not there. Where is the peace in you? If you live in the present, by understanding the truth about yourself, then you also become existence within yourself in the total existence. The world is also will give you happiness because you don't live in vrittis, past and future. You live in the presence. I gave few quotations last week from Viveka Chudamani and also from Atma Bodha to clarify these points. But this week we now go directly to the mantra, 12th section. So let us go to 12th section. We'll read the whole 12th section. Twadasya Khandaha. Okay, 12th section. Yes, correct. Nyagrodha phalam ataha ahara iti idam bhagava iti bindhiti bhinnam bhagava iti kimatra pasyasi iti anva iva imaha dhanaha bhagavaha iti asam anga ekam bindhi iti bhinna bhagava iti kimatra pasyasi na kinchana bhagava iti bhagavaha iti. I will read again. Nyagrodho phalam ataha ahara iti idam bhagavaha iti bindhiti bhinnam bhagava iti kimatra pasyasi iti anva iva imaha dhanaha bhagavaha iti asam anga ekam bindhi iti bhinna bhagava iti kimatra pasyasi iti na kinchana bhagava iti. Number 2 also will read. Okay. Tams hovacha yam evai somya etat animanam na vibhalayese iti etasya vai somya yesho animna evam mahanyagrodha asti mahan agrodha tisthati, agrodha tisthati sraddhasva somya iti. Tamho vacha yam vai somya etat animanam na vibhalayesa etasya vai somya yeshaha animna evam mahagrodha asti grodha tishtati sraddhasva somya iti. Okay. So here the question is, okay, in the introduction I just mentioned is all pervading infinite presence in which no objectivity means separateness. Objectivity means this object is different from that object. This body is different from that body. in the all-pervading infinite existence, there is no objectivity. Everything is essentially one. In the present moment of being, when the mind stops, objectivity is dropped. Only existence remains. From there, objectivity rises as individual sat. Existence of a thought or existence of my son or existence of my daughter, all of them arise out of that calm presence. So sat is essential presence, just like water is essential presence of all waves. Sat as existence is the presence of all possibilities that arise, all objects. In the whole universe, that is you. That's all Upanishad is saying. I'm not saying this. Whole universe arises out of you as existence, not as individual, which is already broken up as objects. I can't repeat this enough number of times because this is a pure meditation, actually. The question here, this circular section is answering is, if the Sat and Chit are so subtle, because all pervading, just like space, even space comes out of it. But it is not touched by space because there is no objectivity in it. If it is all pervading, which is very, very subtle, Sushmatva tadavijneyam, durastham chantike chatat. Last week, this is so subtle, it is very far and also very close. If you know it is you, if you don't know it is very far, you are somewhere you're searching. Krishna said, chapter 30. Last week I quoted this. Last pravachan I quoted this. So in such a subtle, from such a subtle, pure existence consciousness, how did this gross world come out? This is the question. In the section 12, he's answering. Bhagavan Shankaracharya's Bhashya I read last week, at that part. That is the question. Now the answer he's gave here, he's giving example of a seed and a tree. That's how it is. Okay. Before I go into that, I will give one quick cause and effect. That's how it started. Sadeva Sama Edamagrasi. That is the essential cause of the whole universe. Sat. From there, universe arises. That's how it started. In Upanishad, second section, I believe. So there are two types of causes. If you know the cause, you know effect. If you know the cause gold as a cause of the ornaments, you know all the ornaments like that. So here, Sat is the cause of whole universe. If you know Sat, if you realize who you are that, then you understand. You have no craving to know anything else. Because that what you know is only trouble. What you are is freedom. So there are two types of cause and effects. One is where the cause and effect can be easily demonstrated and done. You are done with it. So if you take a pot and then clay. Clay is the cause of pot. And you can touch everywhere, then you realize there's only pot, there's only clay. Pot is just appearance, names and forms. Because there are millions of pots are possible in clay only. If you take the clay out of, no pot exists. So all the pots or all the clay devices are nothing but clay. So that is very obvious, cause and effect. Cause precedes the effect, and effect follows the cause. That's very obvious. That's very simple, and everybody can understand easily. But there is another type of cause, and that is the one he is going to explain. What is that? It's not obvious. It's not very obvious. You need to do some thinking process. Okay? It is not easily available to the mind. Okay, so in this, so that's the one that is the one the creation is. So negrodho phalam ataha ahara iti. He told his son, see, ataha, here there is a banyan tree. Telugu it's called Marri Chettu, banyan tree. Bring a phala. Phala means a fruit, ripe fruit from there. Idam Bhagava iti. The son said, okay, I brought it, sir. This is it right here. Bindhi iti. This is mantra. I'm just explaining a sentence. Bindhi iti means you take now that fruit is there, you break it. Bhindam Bhagava iti. The son said, yes, sir, I broke it. The dialogue is going on, father and son. Kimatra pasyasi iti. Iti means he said it, quote unquote. Okay, iti. What do you see there? And son says, Anva iva imaha dhanaha bhagava iti. Bhagavaha iti. See, when there is sometimes the upsarga is dropped, if it's followed by vowel. That's why sometimes I say, sometimes I don't, but it's there. Ki anva iva imaha dhanaha. I see very, very fine seeds, like anu. Anu means fine, very, very fine particles. Hey Bhagavan, Bhagava iti. And he said that, quote unquote. Asam anga ekam bindhi iti. Then father said, out of those that you see, those seeds, break one. Asam anga, anga means a boy, a little boy. Ekam bindhi, one bindhi iti. You break one. Then son says, bindhi iti. I broke. This son is as said, he is following. Okay. Okay. Bhinna Bhagava iti. Yeah, okay. One seed, I broke it, sir. He said. Kimatra pasyasi iti. Then father asks, what do you see there? Nakinchana Bhagava iti. I don't see anything. So what he is really trying to say is, simply because you do not see does not mean there is no cause. You broke the seed of the banyan tree is very so fine, it contains the whole genetic code of the whole tree. How do you know? If you put any other seed, like a lemon seed, lemon tree will come. So what is the cause? For the lemon tree, lemon seed is the cause. For the banyan tree, banyan seed is the cause. There are some secondary causes, that's not the key, but cause is without banyan seed, you cannot have a banyan tree. Period. So if you take simply because banyan tree is very big, you see, suppose you take a big stone and then bury it and then start watering and all this, it would not make a banyan tree. It's not the size, it is the cause. The cause is present in a subtle form. You are not able to see it. But this experiment is to make the son realize it doesn't have to be a grass, doesn't mean a grass has to be there. A subtle can also produce a grass object. So if you wonder how the God is behind all of this and God is so subtle, it is because it is possible to create. Out of subtlety, only grass can come out, really speaking. So continuing, mantra 2 says, Thamho Vacha, the father is saying, Yam vai Soumya Animanam na nibhalayase. Just like his Soumya, just like you do not see this Animanam. This fine, you cannot nibhala say, cannot see. In the same way, the whole universe can come out of something that is not seen. एतस्य वै सौम्य एषः अनिम्न एवं महान अग्रोधो अस्ति अग्रोधः तिष्ठति. In this fine particle only the entire banyan tree is available, is present. So what you see, banyan tree, is clear, but what you don't see, it came out of the seed. So your logic, it's not possible. So that's why many of these questions are to make you clarity that some of the things, some of the scientists make the as arguments. It's not possible, just hypothesis. This is the example, right? Then mantra 3 basically repeats what we have been learning. I'm just reading. Sayesho anima etadatmamidakam sarvam tat satyam tam hovacha atma tattvamasi श्वेतकेतो इति भूय एव मा भगवान् विज्ञापयति तथा सौम्य होवाच. Right. This is what we listened to this few times before. Hey son, because the etadatmamidam sarvam, the whole universe is pervaded by one consciousness, atmam sarvam. Sarvam tat satyam, that is the truth. What we see is the name and form. Sa atma, all the names and forms are also atman only. We are not seeing the truth. Your focus is on superficial waves. Atma is the name with in and through the names and forms. Tattvamasi, you are that buddy. Hey Swetaketo iti. Bhuya eva Bhagavan. Now the son is again asked the same question. Bhuya eva Bhagavan vijñapayitu. Tell me more. Tadha Saumya iti hovaj. He said, okay, I will tell you more. I will explain more. So section 13. Okay. लवणमेतद् उदके अवधाय अथ मा प्रातः उपसीदथ इति स तथा चकार तं होवाच तद्दोष लवणम् उदके अवाध अंग तदाहर इति तद्धावं तद् ह अवमृश्य न विवेद. I will read again. लवणम् एतद् उदके अवधाय अथ मा प्रातः उपसीदथ इति स तथा चकार तं होवाच तद्धोष लवणम् उदके अवाध अंग तत् आहर इति तत् ह अवमृश्य न विवेद. Number 2. Yes, it's right there. Okay. यथा विलीनम् एव अंग अंग स्यात् अन्तात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणमिति मध्यात् मध्यात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणम् इति अन्तात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणम् इति अभिप्रास्य एतत् अथ मा उपसीदथ इति तथा तथा चकार तत् शश्वत् संवर्तते तं होवाच अत्र वाव किल सत् सौम्य न निभालयसे अत्रैव किल इति. I will read the second mantra again. यथा विलीनम् एव अंग अस्य अन्तात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणमिति मध्यात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणम् इति अन्तात् आचमा इति कथमिति लवणम् इति अभिप्रास्य एतत् अधा मा उपसीदथा इति तथा तथा चकार तच्च स्वत्सत् संवर्तते तं होवाच अत्र वाव किल सत् सौम्य न निभालयसे अत्र एव किल इति. Okay. Now the question here is, if Brahman is our essence, and the essence of the whole universe, Tattvam it's the essence of the whole thing. If that is the truth, how come I'm not able to see it? If the mind stops, you feel it. You are that, but you don't want to. If your mind stops, you are in the present movement. When you're present movement, you're automatically space also collapses. And out of that space which collapses, again things appear as borrowing from you. But what is the problem here? You are seeing yourself through the pramana, which is your mind, which is your senses, perceptions, feelings, ideas. You are using wrong pramana to know yourself. Pramana can only operate in objective fields, limited fields. When the limitations are dropped, these limitations are called Nama Rupa in this Upanishad. It's a direct path. You are that now. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmaya frequently used to say, you are closer to yourself than your thoughts. How far is water from the wave? He used to ask this question. It is closer than the shape of the wave. Because water came first, wave came next. Your existence came first. When you wake up, we first have to identify you exist. Many times when I travel, I used to travel a lot. When I suddenly wake up, I don't know where the bathroom is, where the front is, where is back, where a bed is, where suddenly you exist, but you have not identified the body yet. That is samadhi. If you don't identify the body, but that is possible when you drop consciously the limitations. But then when you identify with the body, when you wake up, then suddenly, oh, this is east, that is west, that is south. All these things appear. This is all mental now conditioning. Once you understand all these concepts, you can remain in a state where you are pure presence. This is a direct path, as I said. you know, pure presence. Then you see how is the world appearing to you in your consciousness. How as perception. Now focus, shift your attention from the perception to the experiencer, from the experiencer to the chit. Without which, without Chaitanya, experience is not possible. Without experiencer, the perception is not possible. The world is only appears as perception in you. It's not separate. Outside your perception, it's not there. So you pervade. Within you, perceptions rise. But then suddenly you identify, separate yourself as a body, and then you complain. But let the perceptions pass. You are Sat. So the answer is giving is, even though it is all pervading infinite, why I cannot see? because you are not using proper pramana. You want to see just like you see other body. I mean, you only your transactions are always taking place in objective fields. You are not the objective field, you are the knower. So pramana that you are using are wrong. And how he proves that, here beautifully it explained. How he does it, what he does is, he uses the very cheap, very simple, very small experiment. Bring a glass of water, put a plenty of salt. That's all you need to prove this point. Simply because you don't see it does not mean it's not there. You are not using the proper pramana. So I just, before I go further, I will explain few. I will say a few words about pramana. What is pramana? Pramana means a means of knowledge. So for anything, you need a proper means of knowledge. Otherwise, you would not know. It's simple. So there are normally five, six means of knowledge. One of them is called pratyaksha. You see that somebody there and I'm here. Now I'm seeing using my senses. The limitations of senses. Suppose I don't have my glasses, I see a different person, or I don't see person. Animals and birds and cat and dogs, they see different. Their pramana is their particular equipment. Second one is called anumana. Anumana means inference. Inference is you see smoke, but you don't see fire directly. But based upon your knowledge in the kitchen that if there is a smoke, there must be fire. Then you say, okay, there must be fire on the top of the mountain. You are seeing the smoke coming on the top of the mountain. Then there must be fire there. We need to go and put it out. California, let us say. You don't see fire directly, but then you only know by inference. Third pramana, upamana. Upamana means by resemblance. You want to know how does a cow look like. Then you explain, okay, it has four legs just like a horse. It has also an udder, just like a buffalo. Like that you give examples. Then it has a bump on the back, just like a bull. Like that you give a bunch of examples and then you put it together an image in the mind of a person. Upamana. Suppose somebody wants to know about New York City, but he doesn't know, he hasn't been there. Then you give various examples. Maybe it has so many tall buildings. Like that, you give examples like in Bombay, like that you explain. But it's bigger than Bombay buildings, like that you kind of explain. So many upamanas brings you a picture. That is a pramana. Means of knowledge. Pramana means means of knowledge. Fourth one is called ardhapatti. Ardhapatti means a logic. Through logic, you come up with some analysis. So very famous example in this is somebody called Devadatta. Nobody sees him eat, but he is gaining weight. How is it possible? We never see him eat, but he is gaining weight. So the conclusion is he must be eating without anybody seeing him, watching him. Excuse me. So Ardhapatti, logical conclusion. You have facts, and then you put it together, and then you say, okay, it has to be this. And then it works. And then fifth pramana is anupalabdhi. So the absence of something is a proof that it exists, but it is not available now. A common example is given is, suppose you have a stage, 10 people are invited, and you have the invitees or the speakers are there. Then 9 of them are sitting there, And then they're all introduced one by one. Then 10th one, you have the name, but seat is there, his name is not, person is not there. A person, his names are there, like Raja is there, but person by name Raja is not there. But the Raja's name is already there on the nameplate. So when a Raja comes, this is Raja. He has not come. That also you would, by the absence, you infer that so and so is there, but is not here now. By absence, you can make that conclusion. Then last one, none of these work in the realization of Brahman as you, because all of them work in ideas or perceptions. When they stop, Nama Rupa stops, then you become Vadat. So what is that? Which teaches that? Shabda Pramana. Veda Pramana only teaches that. Guru teaches. That will come next section. Okay. Shastra teaches you that. Shabda Pramana. You have faith, you will get it. In the earlier mantra, I misread. It says Shraddhasva Saumya. He said there already. Pay attention. The small thing can produce a big thing. Shraddhasva. Don't be confused. He said that. Same thing. Shraddha. So Sabda Pramana. Sabda Pramana means Upanishadic teachings. Will reveal you if you pay attention and learn and have faith. Now this is going to be demonstrated by a small experiment. The experiment is, he told his son, Lavanam etad udake adhaya. A son, put some salt in this glass of water. Saha, okay, adha ma prataha upasidatha iti. Then you bring it to me tomorrow. Prataha in the morning, bring it to me. Bring it to me. Saha tadha chakara. The son did that exactly the same way. Tamho vacha. Once he came, brought it with him, the glass of water, where he put salt in the previous night, he brought it. He told him the next question. Tadhosha lavanam udake avadha. Anga tad ahara iti. That salt that you have put it into that last night, Anga, his son, bring it out. Tad ahara iti. Now the son is told to bring it out. What now? Son, what is that? Can he do? He only has pramana. What he has, that pramana he has to use. Tat ha avamrushya na viveda. He saw first. He could not see the salt. Obviously, he would see first. There is no salt. He can't see it. It's dissolved in the water. Then he has actually touched. Avamrusya. But still he could not feel it. So two pramanas he has used already. Simply the pramanas did not work. It does not mean salt is not there. This is what he's trying to say. Simply because you cannot see, you cannot feel, you cannot touch, you cannot smell, you cannot feel, it does not mean God is not there. You are not using the right pramana. That's the point he's trying to make. Yatha vilinam eva anga. So this is now completely dissolved. Anga syat Antad achama iti. Now he is trying to tell you, his son, use a different pramana. What he said is, from antat achama iti. You just take a, he didn't say this, but from anta, from one end, or at the bottom, on top, there are two ends, right? From one end, anta, achama iti, you suck a little bit. Achama means like drinking, but suck it out a little. In this context, you can understand. Then he asked, Katham iti, what do you feel? He said, Lavanam iti. The son said, it is salty. So, for the spiritual person, Sarvam Brahma. Here, Sarvam Lavanam. Lavanamaya. Then he said, okay, Madhyat Achama iti. From the center, you drink a little bit. So you must imagine he must be some kind of straw he has used. Those days, bamboo sticks or something like that. He must have provided all these instruments. Okay, we just assume all that stuff. Kadham iti. Again he asked. He said lavanam iti. Again it's salty. Antad achama iti. Again from the other end. Antad achama iti. Again drink from the top. Kadham iti. He said lavanam iti. Again salty. Then he said, Abhiprasya etat adha ma upasidatha iti. Abhiprasya means now throw away this water. Etat, then ma upasatida. Come back to me. Iti. Tadha tadha chakara. Tat seshvat samvartante. He said he threw the water and came back. Then he explained to him, a son, the whole thing is pervaded by salt. But to know, Shashwat means complete all the time, always. It was pervaded by salt, but you couldn't see it, you couldn't touch it, but you could only taste it. And as a proof, the whole thing is pervaded by salt. The whole thing is pervaded by Brahman, the universe. But if you don't use a proper pramana, you would not know. What is pramana we use? We use our senses. But senses have limitations. And thoughts, inference, anumana pramana, upamana, again thoughts. But when the mind stops between thoughts, it is there, right there. But you are looking through thoughts to find who you are. That is scattered in time and space. And you get stuck in time and space and words. You got to withdraw your attention from those nama rupas and go back to you. That is the direct path. Again, I repeat, listen. Perceptions. The world does not exist outside your perceptions. So where are you? You are all pervading. Within you, world appears. If you are not there, world doesn't appear. For you. So it is same thing with anybody. Consciousness has to be there first. Tamhovacha, now keeping this in mind, the father is explaining further. Atra vava kila sat saumya atra eva kila iti nan nibhalayase. In the same way, sat saumya atra eva kila iti. In the same way, in the same place, saumya atra eva kila iti. Brahman is there. pure consciousness, essential existence, pure presence, not reflected of past and future, but in the presence, as you, uncontaminated. Bhagavan Krishna, chapter 5, is beautiful sloka, I will read it. Yahaiva tairjita sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmanite stitaha. I will read again. I lost the tune for Yahayavatairjita sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmanite stitaha. He defines Brahma as nirdosham. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Tasmad brahmanite stitaha. They means those who are not corrupted by their prejudging, prejudging mental disposition, objective disposition. Those people, Yahayavatairjita Sarga, they conquer the Sarga and Samsara right now, Krishna is saying. Why Samya Sthitam Manaha? Samya Sthiti means living in the present, where everything once looks same. Asamana Sthiti means past and future, where you got your own individualized thought processes through which you see yourself in the world. That's, I can't repeat this in enough number of times. That's exactly what it is. Nirdosham hisamam brahma. Even God is free from contamination. So you also be like that, you see, you become free right now. That's not one. Same thing, Shraddha. Shraddha labhate jnanam, Bhagavan says. If you have Shraddha, if you understand this, direct path you should follow. So the pramana that we see is very, very, very worldly stimulated thought processes. And it is not sufficient to experience the all-pervading essential principle in which you appear, because of which you live, which is not part of you, but we are appearing in that. It's not a part or property or product of the body. Consciousness is not. You are within consciousness. Sat and Chit. They go together. Awareness includes both. Aware means knowledge principle. Ness means Sat. Being aware. I am. As I am. I am stands for Sat and Chit. I is Chit, Yam, Sat. This is the foundation on which the world arises. But we forget and we focus on world. This is Veda. Bhagavan Shankaracharya in Dakshinamurti Stotram he says. So Sri Krishna also, couple of slokas I will read, chapter 4, how powerful is. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kale natmani vindati. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. There is nothing more. Pavitra means purest than jnana. What is pure? In the nirdosham vikaram brahma. Dosha, dosha. What is dosha? Ideation. Looking you through your ideas. Pavitram, he says. What is the pavitra? Jnane. Nahi jnane pavitra. There is nothing more pure than jnana. knowledge. Knowledge means Sat and Chit. Jnana means Sat and Chit. Tat Swayam Yoga Samsiddha. Yoga Samsiddha experiences that as him, myself, I am. Kalena Atmani Vindati. Yoga is definition of that. You realize who you are. Pavitram. Jnanena Sadrisam. Jnana means Chit principle as it is, not reflected of objects. I as engineer, I as so and so, I as a husband, as a wife. No, no, no. That is not, that is the off. Knowledge off. As knowledge itself, you are that presence. And you know that. Then Bhagavan says, Saddhavan labhate jnanam. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be peaceful? Do you want to be eternally fearless? If you want, then Shraddha. This is a direct path. Always, every experience that comes to you, you just ignore the experience, shift your attention back to the experiencing principle, which is Chit, consciousness. Then shift your attention further down to yourself. Then drop the ideas and thoughts and perceptions. That is Shraddha. That person who is constantly engaging himself in the teaching by direct path, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, he gets. Otherwise, it is teaching is going, you teach here, 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 and then go that way, go this way. And then again you are scattered. You don't live in the present. Tatpara samyatendriya. The person who is focused, keeping that in mind. See, as soon as you wake up, you open the cell phone. Then you start to watch. How much interest you have? Then you complain. Then call somebody else. All these things, don't have Shraddha. Read some one chapter of Bhagavad Gita before you go to the prayer room. Take care of people thinking of some chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Then your mind, heart becomes pure. Nirdosham hisamam brahma. It happens. It's not rocket science. He says here, Jnanam labdhva param shantim. Once you know who you are, param shantim achrena adhigachyati. You own that pure happiness, which you are by nature. Tattvam asi. Let us make some resolution in our heart that I will do certain more sadhana, keeping this direct path as focus. Some slokas from Bhagavad Gita you should learn, and then you should reflect upon it before you go to sleep, and when you wake up, you should reflect upon it. And then you should minimize interacting with giving reality to unnecessary things. Talk very little and focus on your sadhana. It is possible. It's in your hands. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.